Hi everyone! Good morning sa ating lahat. Welcome to another lecture series on agricultural economics and marketing. And for today, we will be talking about two important things, especially in macroeconomics and international economics. We will be talking about taxes and tariffs and the different types of taxes and tariffs. Okay? So let's start off by answering the question, what are taxes? So ano nga ba ang tax? Well, tax, yan yung mandatory payment. Mandatory payment na binibigay ng mga citizens ng isang bansa sa kanilang gobyerno. Bakit? Yung mga payment na yun ay ginagamit ng government para pondohan yung mga different services, yung public services like education, infrastructure, healthcare, and national security. Now, taxes, they are very important. Kaya lahat ng bansa, lahat ng gobyerno ng lahat ng bansa, nagpapataw yan ng tax sa kanilang citizens. Bakit? Kasi yung pondo na nakukuha nila dito sa tax na to acts now as the financial backbone that supports all the public services in that country. Now, generally speaking, we have two types of tax. Pwedeng ang tax mo ay direct. Ibig sabihin yan, diretso, pinabayaran mo sa government. It is directly paid to the government. Or, pwede namang indirect. Indirect means there is an intermediary. May middleman na nasa gitna that collects the tax bago niya ibayad sa government. So anong example ng direct tax? Yung ating income tax. Anong example naman ng intermediary tax? Yan yung VAT, okay, value added tax or yung mga sales tax natin. Yun yung example ng indirect tax. More to that later on. What are tariffs? Diba? Kung na-describe natin kung ano ang tax, ano naman ang tariff? Now, tariff is also a form of tax. But this is a special kind of tax because tariff is a tax that is imposed. Ipinapataw natin yan sa imported goods and services. Now, what do we mean by we say imported? Goods na pumapasok sa bansa natin. Imported goods. Okay? Now, the reason kung bakit tayo nagpapataw ng tax sa mga goods and services na pumapasok sa ating bansa ay dalawa. The first one would be, syempre, added na kita yan ng gobyerno. Or that is an added revenue by the government that is not paid by the citizens of that country, but paid by countries exporting product to that country. So ang tariff, hindi yan binabayaran. So sa context ng Pilipinas, ang tariff, hindi yan binabayaran ng Pilipino. Binabayaran yan ng mga foreigners na nag-e-export sa atin ng produkto. So that's added revenue. That's one reason kung ba't tayo nangongolekta ng tariff. Pangalawa is for the protection of our domestic industries. What do you mean by that? If, let's say, dito sa Pilipinas, mahina ang industry natin sa mais, ibig sabihin yan, poor ang production ng mais and mataas ang presyo. Kapag nag-export ng mais si China papunta dito sa Pilipinas na mas mura and mas maganda yung quality, automatic ang mga consumers, bibilhin nila yung corn na galing kay China. And patuloy na walang bibili doon sa corn na produce ni Pilipino, kaya magdi-dwindle down yan, magsasuffer. So ang tariff, yan yung way natin para balansehin yung presyo para maging competitive pa rin yung ating local products in comparison to the foreign products. So for example, kapag nagpataw tayo ng tax doon sa mais na dineliver ni China sa atin, possible na tumaas. Ang mangyari dyan is tataas yung presyo ng kanyang mais and maaari na pumantay siya or hihigit pa doon sa presyo ng mais na ginawa dito sa Pilipinas. So ang tendency, due to the law of demand, wala masyadong magiging buyers yung mahal na mais na imported. So, possible na mag-shift yung demand papunta sa pagbili ng mais na galing dito sa bansa natin. Thereby, protecting now our domestic production. So, mostly ang ginagawa ng government dyan, magpapataw tayo ng tariff. Yeah? Yan yung concept ng rice tarification law. Okay? So, yung rice tarification law, to simplify it, dati, kapag nag-i-import tayo ng rice galing sa ibang bansa, naglalagay tayo ng quota. So, quota means limit of how many quantities should be delivered in the Philippines. Now, instead of a quota, the rice tarification law, ginawa nila, lagyan na lang natin ng tariff yung rice. So, wala nang limit. Actually, mayroon pa rin namang limit, pero napataas lang. But anyways, the concept here is, inalis yung quota na yon, the restricting quota, nagpataw na lang tayo ng tax para makakuha tayo ng added revenue. Now, yung added revenue na yon would now serve two purposes. That would be revenue for the government, but specifically to protect our local production as well. How? Kasi yung revenue daw na makukuha dapat natin for the rice tarification law should now be invested on improving rice production in the Philippines. So that's another way to think about how tariff works in terms of generating revenue and protecting our local industry. Now, puntahan na natin. Ano-ano yung mga different types of taxes? Again, nasabi ko sa inyo kanina, there are two major types of taxes. We have, two major types of taxes. We have direct and indirect. Tama. So, tingnan natin specifically yung mga types of taxes naman. Magsimula tayo sa income tax. Now, as the name suggests, income tax is the tax that na ipinapataw kapag nag-earn tayo ng income. Now, there are two kinds of income tax. We have personal income tax. Now, personal income tax means ito yung tax na binabayaran ng mga individual, ng mga citizens ng bansa that is earning wages, salaries, okay, investments, or other income sources. Ang mahalaga dito, ang personal income tax, binabayaran niya ng individual every time na siya ay kumikita. Now, personal income tax, this is one of the largest source of revenue for a lot of governments in the world, especially dito sa Pilipinas. Majority of our taxes comes from personal income tax. O ano naman ang corporate tax? Now, corporate tax, this is not individual tax anymore, but rather, these are income tax paid by corporations, exactly, by the word corporate. They are paid by big corporations, and this varies, no? Nagbabari yung level ng payment nila, madalas, base sa location nila sa isang bansa. Like for example, dito sa Pilipinas, meron tayong tinatawag na special economic zones. So mga areas yon kung saan ini-encourage ng government na magpatayo ng negosyo doon. So yung mga corporations na nagtatayo ng negosyo doon sa special economic zones na yon, more than likely nakakakuha sila ng tax incentive. Mas mababa yung ibinabayad nilang tax. Okay? Now, most ng income tax natin, these are progressive. Ibig sabihin yan, habang tumataas ang income natin, tumataas rin ang tax. Kapag bumababa ang income, bumababa rin ang tax. Yan yung tinatawag nating progressive tax system. Opposite nito ay regressive. Regressive naman, kabaliktaran. Habang tumataas yung income mo, bumababa yung tax. Habang bumababa yung income mo, tumataas naman ang tax. What else? Aside from income tax, we also have sales tax. So in general, sales tax is a consumption tax imposed on the sale of goods and services. So kapag nagkaroon ng exchange of goods and services, nababayaran itong sales tax natin. So generally, ang sales tax ay percentage of what was bought. So for example, kapag ang sales tax natin is 10% at ang binili mo is 100 pesos, instead na 100 pesos ang babayaran mo, 110 kasi maipapatong yung 10% na tax. So there are two kinds of sales tax. We have retail sales tax and we have value-added tax. So ang retail sales tax, this is the most common form of sales tax and ina-apply yan sa pagbebenta ng goods and services sa final consumer. So sino ba yung final consumer natin? Ito yung mga individuals na bumibili ng produkto para sa sarili nilang gamit. Hindi na nila gagamitin yung produkto na yun to produce another product na ibebenta nila. So retail sales tax, yan yung tax na ipinapataw sa atin kapag tayo ay bumibili, for example, sa supermarket o sa 7-Eleven. So for example, pumunta ka sa supermarket, bumili ka ng Pampers worth 1,000 pesos, may 10% na retail sales tax, ang babayaran mo na is 1,100 pesos. So nakadepende, again, yung retail sales tax mo doon sa binili mo. So kung 100 lang yung binili mo, edi 110 pesos lang. Ano naman ang value-added tax? Yan. Minsan kino-confuse natin yan yung retail sales tax and value-added tax. Kasi ang binabayaran natin sa mga resibo na nakikita natin sa supermarket is yung VAT. Tama? Akala natin yung VAT, yun na yung retail sales tax. Although it's true naman. The retail sales tax is a part of your value-added tax. But the value-added tax, mas malalim yan. Okay? We are not only pertaining now to the buying of final consumers. Okay? So hindi lang final consumers ang kasama sa value-added tax. Kasama na lahat-lahat ng mga negosyo na involved doon sa transformation ng raw materials na yon up until it hits yung final consumer. So from the raw materials itself, may mga stages na pinagdadaanan yan, and each stage nag-a-add yung mga businesses ng value, kaya siya tinawag ng value-added tax. And for each stage ng pagbili nila ng mga raw materials na ginagamit nila to form their product, there is a tax levied on each stage. So I'll give you an example para mas malinaw. Let's say, may manufacturer, bumili siya. So si manufacturer, bumili siya ng raw materials worth 1,000 pesos. 1,000 pesos yung raw materials na binili niya. Dahil ang expanded VAT natin, ang VAT natin dito sa Pilipinas is 12%, so therefore, ang babayaran niya is 1,120. So ito yung babayaran niya, 1,120. Ngayon, si manufacturer, ibibenta niya yung minanufacture niya na produkto kay wholesaler. Si wholesaler naman, ibinenta niya ng 2,000 pesos. Ibinenta ni manufacturer kay wholesaler ng 2,000 pesos yung produkto. Siyempre, dahil may naipatong nga, again, na 12% tax. So may a-add yung 12% na yun sa 2,000. So that would be the wholesaler will now pay 2,240 pesos. Now, si wholesaler, bibenta niya yan, of course, kay retailer. Let's say, binenta niya kay retailer ng 3,000 pesos. 3,000 pesos. So, hindi lang 3,000 ulit ang babayaran. It would be 3,000 plus the 12% na VAT. So, that would be 3,360 pesos. Yan yung babayaran ni retailer kay wholesaler. And si retailer, of course, ibibenta niya yan kay final consumer. Ibibenta niya, let's say, ng 4,000 pesos. Pero syempre, hindi ulit 4,000 yung babayaran ni final consumer. Maipapatong ulit yung 12% na tax sa kanya and ang babayaran na niya is 4,480 pesos. So that is how value-added tax work. Yung retail sales tax natin, dito lang nangyayari. Yung retail sales tax. Yung value-added tax, nangyayari yan at each stage of your production. Next type of tax is your property tax. Very self-explanatory. Yan yung tax na ipinapataw natin when we own a particular property, including bahay, buildings, land, and other real estates. So ang property tax, nakadepende yung tax na yan doon sa assessed value ng property. Kaya yearly, yung mga local authorities natin sa ating mga LGU, ina-assess nila yung ating mga real estate property. So ina-assess nila yung value ng bahay, ina-assess nila yung value ng lupa, and based on their assessment, mayroong percentage na idinadagdag doon, and yun yung babayaran natin na tax. So for example, ako kasi, I am working as a virtual assistant in a real estate team in Illinois. Kaya familiar ako na every year, na-assess yung property ng mga bahay sa Illinois, and more than likely, nadadagdagan yung tax nila annually. So for example, let's say year 1, ang value ng property niya is $100K. $100K, tapos ang tax is 10%, di syempre magbabayad siya ng $110K. No, apparently, nung year 2, sabihin natin na yung community na yun lumago, mas maraming naging negosyo, gumanda yung, nag-prosper yung community na yun. So yung value ng kanyang same na bahay at year 2, nadagdagan. Let's say naging 200K na. So yan na yung magiging basehan ng kanyang tax. So kapag 10% ng 200K, edi magbabayad na siya ngayon ng, hindi 110, 10K. Magbabayad na ngayon siya ng 20K worth of tax. Okay? So that's how property tax work. Now, another type of tax na madalas siguro yung napapakinggan is yung tinatawag nating excise tax. Now, excise tax, these are specific taxes on particular goods such as tobacco, alcohol, and gasoline. So, ang excise tax, different yan sa ating sales tax. Remember, ang sales tax, ipinapataw lang yan kapag bumili, kapag mayroong exchange of goods and services. Pero ang excise tax, included na yung tax na yan doon sa mismong produkto at manufacturing. Okay? So included na yung tax na yan doon sa manufacturing. So the excise tax is already included on the product itself. Kahit walang exchange na mangyayari, magbabayad ng excise tax. Okay? So ang excise tax, they are often used para i-discourage yung consumption of harmful products. For example, cigarettes. And para din mag-raise ng fund for specific purpose. Like for example, nagpataw tayo ng excise tax para sa ating Universal Health Care Bill. Okay? Now, these taxes can also be used kapag yung produkto natin mayroon siyang negative externality o mayroon siyang negative impact sa ating ekonomiya, sa ating environment, or sa society as a whole. So, ibig sabihin, yes, nakakatulong nga itong produkto mo para magkaroon ng mas maraming trabaho, let's say, mapaunlad yung ating production, pero meron siyang bad effect sa society, then nagpapataw tayo ng excise tax. So, ano yung common example ng excise tax? Sabi ko na kanina is yung mga sin tax sa tobacco and alcohol. So, ang pinaka-purpose nito ay para mabawasan yung consumption ng mga product na to para ma-offset yung social cost associated with the use of cigarette and alcohol. So, ang excise tax, okay, ipinapatong yan, mostly, ang nagbabayad dyan, ang excise tax, binabayaran din yan ng mga gumagamit ng produkto. O, kaya if you are wondering kung bakit sobrang mahal ng sigarilyo ngayon, it is because of excise tax. Dati, nakakabili ka ng yosi at what? 150, ngayon 10 piso, 12 pesos. It's because of the excise tax. Again, binabayaran yan mismo, part na, yung excise tax ay part na mismo ng product. So for example, para lang makita natin yung difference between excise and retail. Yung retail kanina, kapag bumili ka ng 100 pesos, based dun sa 100 pesos yung tax mo. So kung 10% ang tax, ang magiging tax mo ay ang total na bill mo ay 110 pesos. So magva-vary yan according sa kung magkano yung bibilhin mo. Yan yung retail, yun yung retail tax kanina. Ang excise tax, yung tax na yan, okay, yung tax na yan ay binayaran nung manufacturer. So for example, meron kang tobacco company, yung tobacco company na to, magbabayad yan ng tax sa government. So kapag nagbayad yan ng tax sa government, paano nila makukuha yung ibinayad nilang tax? Ipapatong nila yon doon sa YOSI. Kaya mangyari, tataas ang presyo ng sigarilyo. Pero hindi fix yan. Nasa product na mismo yung tax. Kasi nagbayad sila ng tax sa government, ipinatong nila yung tax sa produkto na ibibenta sa final consumer. Pero hindi siya magva-vary as opposed to the retail sales tax na nagva-vary siya every time na itinataas mo yung binibili mo or ibinababa mo yung ibinibili mo. Innate yung tax, yung excise tax sa produkto. Ano naman ang capital gains tax? Ang capital gains tax naman, yan yung tax na ini-impose sa profit na nakukuha every time na nagbebenta tayo ng assets. Assets such as stocks, bonds, real estate, etc. or businesses. So, if familiar kayo sa concept ng stocks and bonds, yung mga investment instruments natin, kapag hinohold natin yung, for example, yung stock and tumataas yung halaga ng stock, hindi pa tayo natataksan yan. Pero once na binenta na natin yung stocks natin and nag-accumulate tayo ng pera because of that exchange, then nagbabayad tayo ng tinatawag nating capital gains tax. Now, there are two types of capital gains tax. Pwedeng short-term yan, pwedeng long-term. Kapag sinabi mong short-term, yan yung mga assets that is being held for only 1 year or less. So, 1 year or less than a year. So, short-term capital gains tax. Ang long-term tax naman, more than 1 year. So, ang short-term capital gains tax, mostly mas mataas yan. Typically, mas mataas siya as compared to the long-term capital gains tax. Kaya yung mga investors natin, if they are buying stocks or if they are buying bonds, more than likely, gusto nila long-term investment yan. Ibig sabihin, they would be taking advantage of the lower taxes brought about by the long-term capital gains tax. Now, let's talk about the different types of tariff. Unahin natin yung tinatawag nating specific tariff. Now, specific tariff, ang keyword dito is that this is a fixed fee imposed on each unit of an imported good. So, fix yung fee. So, for example, let's say, nag-import tayo ng bakal galing sa US. So, bakal. Yan, bakal yan. Tapos per piece ng bakal, sabi ng Pilipinas, per piece of your bakal, 100 pesos ang specific tax. So kung ilang bakal yung i-deliver nila, let's say, ano ba to? Metal rod? Well, I'm not familiar, guys. So, hindi kasi ako engineer, no? So let's say, yung metal rod is 100 pieces. So 100 times 100, diba? Then 10,000 yung maipapatong na specific tax. So it's a fixed fee per unit of the quantity, per unit of the imported goods that is being delivered in your country. That's a specific tax. Now, in contrast to ad valorem tax. Ang ad valorem tax naman, yan yung tax na ipinapataw sa imported na good based doon sa value ng good na yon. So, based doon sa value ng good. So, for example, ang ad valorem tax ay 20%. Say 20%. Ngayon, mayroong sasakyan na inimport from Japan going to the Philippines. And yung value ng sasakyan na to is 2 million. So, ang ad valorem tax, iti-take niya yung value na 2 million, imumultiply niya sa 20%. So, 2 million, 20% of 2 million is what? 400,000. Tama ba? So, ang babayaran na ngayon na tax in terms of its ad valorem would be 400K. Okay? So, 400K, that is now the ad valorem tax of the car that has the value of 2 million pesos. 400K ba? Or 40? So, ang 10% ng 1 million ay 100,000? Tama. 400K. 400K. Okay. Next one would be compound tariff. So, ang compound tariff is simply a combination of your... malito. A compound tariff is a combination of ad valorem, of specific tariff. Okay, it's a combination of specific and ad valorem. Ad valorem. So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng isang compound tariff. So, combination yan, mayroon kang part of the good is charged with a specific tariff, and then it is charged again by an ad valorem tax. So, for example, yung ating corn, yung corn ay sabi ng Pilipinas, magcha-charge kami ng specific tax na 50 pesos per kilo of corn. Eh, nagpadala sila ng 1,000 kilos sa atin. So, 1,000 kilos now, times 50, ang tax na makukolekta natin is 50,000 pesos. In terms of specific tax. Okay, specific tax po ito. Now, let's say itong 1,000 kilo na to, ang halaga na ang value ng corn na yan ay 100,000 pesos. And meron tayong ad valorem tax of 20%. So, 20% of 100K, magkongolekta ulit tayo ng additional 20,000 pesos. So, yan na yung tinatawag nating compound tariff. It is a combination of your specific tax and ad valorem tax. So, I hope you've learned a lot about this lecture. So, minabuti ko na i-lecture muna sa lecture series yung mga sinuggest ng mga kasamahan natin sa mga comment. Kaya kapag may gusto kayong i-discuss ko na topic, please do comment. I am taking note of that and nagpe-prepare ako ng presentation and lecture on that specific topic. Thank you sa pakikinig and have a great day.